Welcome to Power to the Flower. I'm Kara, and today is December 3rd. I hope this video gets out there pretty soon, but if not, I am going in for surgery, colon cancer surgery on December 10th. So I have 1 week before doing that, and in the meantime, I have been planting, and I am super excited to share with you what I've been doing because I feel like it's some of my best work. So I have two things that I want to talk about in this video today. The first one is full shade pots. I have an area underneath my patio that gets year-round shade. That is where I had a yellow Lucky Lantern abutilon with some coleus. I amped up those pots for the winter, and I've moved them all down to the area you see down there where we've just redone our paver patio. That leaves this area up here on my deck clean and free for new pots, new plants. The second thing that I want to do is talk to you about Gardener Supply. Do you know that company? They do not support me. They do not know who I am. They have a wonderful website that features a bunch of gardening tools and equipment and beautiful things to add to your garden. That is a definite main source for my stuff for Power to the Flower that I want to show you. So I got an obelisk. It just arrived, so I want to open that with you and see if we can use it in my new shade pots. So here are the pots that I just purchased from my local nursery. It's called Sloat Garden Center, and they're about 20 inches tall and 15 inches wide. I think they're nicely blending into the area, and they will feature these plants beautifully. Upon closer inspection, you can see they have a little bit of a design, and I enjoy that for interest, but again, I want them to be kind of subdued and really just contrast these beautiful plants. Let's talk about them now. I have 4 hellebores to introduce you to. They look the same right now because they will begin to bloom in January, and let me show you what they're going to look like. The first one I have here is Double Ellen Red. It grows 1 to 2 feet tall and wide. It is an evergreen in zones 5 through 9, and it has these beautiful double blooms. I also have Double Ellen Purple. This is the same statistics as the previous plant. Also to note, these hellebores are deer resistant and virtually pest and disease-free plants. Not to mention that they're shade lovers that bloom between January and June. Next, I have Pickety Lady, which grows to about the same height and width, but the leaves are slightly smaller and the clump is tighter together. So it will add a little bit of variety in my container. And the last variety I have is called Peach Blush. These hellebores, as are all hellebores, are shade-loving plants for that shady corner that you need color. This is a great plant for you. They can also take morning sun or a couple hours of afternoon sun. The other shade-loving plant I'm going to add to these containers are Heucheras, or also known as coral bells. The first thing I'm going to do is add soil. Nope, actually I'm going to add plant risers, which are little feet to go underneath the pot, which will aid in drainage, and I highly recommend these. I purchased these little foam ones on Amazon in packs of 20. I used 4 plant risers per pot. Then I added potting soil into each pot, as well as some starter fertilizer, and then I started designing. I left about 6 inches from the top of the pot with the soil level in order to add the hellebores, which are very unforgiving. They're sturdy little root balls, and so you want to make sure that you can get them in there easily. Once I had all 4 hellebores in the pot, I had a little space between the root balls in the center. And so initially I added a heuchera there and thought that would be fun, but actually changed my mind, and I'm so glad that I did. These heucheras, Marmalade, Forever Purple, and Northern Exposure grow about 1 to 2 feet tall and wide. They are easily propagated, and so that can help keep them to the right size if you want them to be smaller. They love full sun all the way to full shade, which is why they'll work really good in this shady spot here. Also, they're evergreen in zones 4 through 9, and they have perennial bloom spikes that they send up in the summertime. I chose these 3 colors because A, they're beautiful, and B, because of their flexibility in light exposure. For my second purple heuchera, I'm actually going to rescue it from a pot that I have it in that hasn't been watered in months, and I think it will do much better over there. This was a container I put together in the spring and then lost track of. Doesn't that happen to all of us? So I have a Forever Purple heuchera right here. Can you see that little baby? That is looking terrible. I stopped watering this entire pot during our paver patio project, but I think I can salvage it. So I'm going to dig it out and then put it in my second
patio pot. Heucheras do not have a very deep or expansive root ball. They're easily propagated by snipping off a part of the stem and sticking it in moist soil, and you'll get a new plant. It's for this reason that I'm feeling fairly confident that this guy's going to come back to life with some better soil conditions. Okay, so the last thing on our list today are these Verona obelisks from Gardener's Supply. I really love using obelisks because they cause your eye to go up, up, up. And in front of these tall windows, I think that's going to really help to emphasize the height and look very beautiful, as well as add some winter interest. I purchased the small Verona obelisks, which are 38 inches high once they're installed and 11 inches wide. I'm so glad I didn't put that heuchera in the middle of this pot because there's a crisscross metal bracing at the bottom of these Verona obelisks that would have been smushing the plant. But in fact, because of the spacing, it worked perfectly. I'm really liking these. They are so lightweight and easy to install. I'd highly recommend them.
Can't even tell you how much I'm loving this, and I'm loving the Verona obelisk. I hope you can see that. Can you imagine you could put lights on it? It would be so beautiful. But I think this one turned out great. I think I could have thought of this better and perhaps put this guy, who has totally been eaten by something, in the back. But such is life. This way, if it has any chance of getting some light, it will. You know what I'm going to do to that? Is I'm just going to add a little bit of neem oil as a preventative. Do you know about this? This is your gardener friend. It is what you use for any sort of thing where you don't know what the problem is. And you just soak it and it will probably take care of it. If this doesn't, then the other thing to try is Jack's bug out, dead bug. Here it is. This is also amazing. The main ingredient in here is spinosad. This works. But the problem with this one is it leaves a white kind of residue that comes off only in the rain or with water. So I don't like to use it as my first round. I use the neem oil, and then if that doesn't kill the thing, then I go to this round, just for general. So I think this is looking awesome. I'm really excited to come and sit in those chairs on a sunny day. We could have lunch out here because we do live in crazy California. In terms of priorities, this is a little sitting area that we can still use even in December. My parents are coming to help me with the cancer treatment, and so it'll be great to just have a little cleaned up area that we can enjoy that will still be dead gorgeous, even though the rest of the yard is a complete tip. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for you. Think about your shade pots. Think about hellebores. Think about heuchera. Get some varieties going. Definitely check on your heuchera tag. Not all heucheras or coral bells are full shade plants, so you want to just check what the tag says. But I'm looking forward to seeing how these do in their full shade zone, and I'll be giving you an update as it becomes available. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.